Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we are taking a look at the Klim Powerxross Pants available at RevZilla.com. So if you are familiar with Klim, you know that there are two different lines of snow apparel within their lineup. You're going to have the non-insulated versions, and then you have the insulated versions. So for riders out there that are more active in their use, maybe you're going to use these not just for snowmobiling, but you're also using them for snowboarding. The Powerxross pants are going to be a non-insulated version, but you're still getting the Gore-Tex protection as well as the Gore-Tex breathability. Remember, Gore-Tex is going to keep all that water out, but it's also going to allow all that sweat and moisture to evaporate nicely through the new SPL 200 shell. So there's going to be some changes that we're going to see over the old Powerxross pants, and we're going to break all of those down for you throughout this video. The first change we're going to address is with sizing. So George on my left-hand side stands at 6'3", weighs in at 215 pounds. We have him in a size extra large. His waist, 39 inches around the belly button, and his hips, 46 inches. So if you're using Klim's size chart, George was in a large for his waist measurement. He was in an extra large for his hip measurement. We actually bumped him up to the extra large, keeping in mind that you want a little bit of extra room if you are going to be using this for double duty. You're going to be a little more active. Maybe these are going to be a snowboarding option for you. That extra room in there will help. But George in the extra large is going to be a regular length. And like I said, he stands at 6'3", 34-inch inseam, and the regular length was perfect for him. Sizes are going to range from a small up to a 2XL, and you do have that tall size available in sizes between medium and extra large. So just keep that in mind. You do have those options out there for you. George is rocking the gray version. There is a blacked out version as well. So within Klim's lineup, Klim is known for their dual sport world, for motorcycles on-road, off-road, for their snowmobile gear. And with the Powerxross pants, this is going to be your hybrid option. This is something you could use for snowmobiling in more active West Coast situations, or this is something you could use out there if you're on the slopes with your snowboard and you want something that's going to be an active pant that's going to keep you dry, but it's also going to allow that sweat to evaporate, and that's really where that Gore-Tex shell comes into play. Like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be an updated version of the Powerxross pants we've seen in other iterations. If you want to take a step up from this particular pair of pants, you'd be looking at the Tomahawk. The Tomahawk is going to take this regular pant style. It's going to incorporate suspenders. I'm not going to call it a true bib style, but you're going to have more of a suspender look if you are getting up into something like the Tomahawks. Now, the main changes that we're seeing with the Powerxross over the old version, first and foremost, it's going to be the construction. It's going to be an SPL 200 Performance Shell from Gore-Tex. And really, what we're getting in addition to the regular shell design is they've added ballistic overlays to the knee to give you extra protection in those situations where you might be using this on a snowboard. You might be kneeling down a little bit more. You need those extra reinforcements there. The other thing we'll notice starting with the top is they've changed. We've got belt loops now. You're going to have Velcro adjusters on the side, but if you want to add a belt, you have that availability for you. And there will be suspender attachments on the inside, so if you do want to add suspenders to the Powerxross pants, you'll have that option to do so. Working your way down, the pocket design has changed. It used to be a horizontal pocket. They've now gone to a slash pocket design. YKK water-resistant zips with a zipper garage up top to make sure you don't catch that on anything. And as we pull down through, like I mentioned earlier, it's the SPL material from Gore-Tex, but it's really going to be the overlays that we're seeing here that's the change. And keep in mind, with the SPL, if you've watched some of their videos, it's a more lightweight, flexible material that we're seeing from Gore-Tex. So you have a nicer range of motion. You can really freely move around with this, and that's really where that active use is coming into play. So with that ballistic nylon on the knees, that's one of the main changes we're going to see. And there's also going to be some temper foam padding back in here. And if you want to take that out and swap it out with D3O, that's going to be an option for you as well. George, I'm going to have you go ahead. I'm going to face sideways for me. And one of the things that we're going to see carry over from the previous version of the Powerxross is the zip entry on this. This is something you can wear over your existing gear. If you want some ventilation from the top, it's a two-way water resistant YKK zip. And look at that, George is sporting his shorty shorts underneath this. Keep in mind that even though we're shooting this as a snow video, it's currently 95 degrees here in Philadelphia in August. And George is all geared up for the weather that he will be experiencing once he's out of this video acting as our model. When we take a look at the bottom on this snow skirt that we're going to see at the very bottom of the pants is carried over from the previous version, and it works to help all the air and snow from pushing up and getting up underneath your pants. Easy Velcro entry with this, and then there will be a snap at the bottom. If we just unsnap that, you'll see silicone gripper panels at the bottom holding it in place over top of your boots. and it's a very thought out design that we're seeing carried over from the previous version. And like I said earlier, it is that two-way zipper. You can use this to get the pants on and off without having to take your boots off. So that full zip design works very appropriately for that. George, I'm gonna have you go ahead and face backwards for me. Starting with the top, you do have elastication. You can see you do have that belt loop that we talked about in the front. You do have the option to use a belt with this to hold this in place if you do not want to add suspenders. But what we found is that with that Velcro adjuster, it works quite well to hold the pants in place exactly as they sit. And then we have the traditional Klim bubble butt. You can see George has plenty of room in his rear section. If he is moving around, there's nothing that's going to be holding these pants, or keeping him, like he's not got the range of motion that he's looking for. Sometimes when you have that really tight, aggressive cut to the rear, it feels like the pants are falling down on you every time you get into a crouch position. Klim has avoided that with all the extra material in the rear section of these. And then you'll notice minimal branding. One of the things we've seen Klim do over the past few years is when they come out with new iterations of gear, they're just toning their branding down. You still know that it's Klim, but it's not going to be slamming you in the face. Where the old version of this had a big K spread across it, this is going to be a lot more muted as far as a branding standpoint. George, I'm going to have you face forward for me. So for riders out there that are looking for more of a pant design, you want less of a bib look, you don't necessarily want the suspenders, the Klim Powerxross is a non-insulated option for you to consider within Klim's lineup. Remember, Klim has plenty of options for you to choose from, and there's a lot of riders out there using their gear. So if you want to hear more about what other riders have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting this stuff through its paces. Now, if you have more questions for our gear geeks as to which Klim setup is right for your style of snow use, give them a shout, 877-792-9455, or shoot them an email, cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the Klim Powerxross Pants. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.